Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, it's Vandy. I'm back into the Card Fight Vanguard deck profiles. Enjoy the like, comment, subscribe, and start, shall we? This time we're covering Lyrical Monasterio Set 3 Herminia deck. So, Herminia got a little bit of upgrades here and there. Didn't get a lot, but it did get a little bit more than I expected it to because it was the new ride line from last time, so she said let's ump them up a bit more. They definitely got a little bit more spunk to them. They have a very interesting combo card, so let's go ahead and get this started, shall we? And you can see how much better Herminia has gotten, because I gotta say, Herminia's phrase of powerful actually feels like it fits as a keyword for once. Let's go ahead and start off with our starter in Cutie Topic Riviena, the thing I hate the most. Grade 0 boost fact, Kashiosis, K-base, auto road upon if you win second, draw a card. Standard star, not much about it. Basically, it's just when you ride upon it, you draw if you win second. That's literally what it is. You can really make this any starter you want because none of the ride line requires this. The only reason I'm running this as my starter is because this was revealed at the same time as the rest of the ride line, so I take it this is supposed to be their archetypal starter, and that's why it's here. Otherwise, I would not be running this at all, but all around, you can pick any starter you want. As long as it has that draw skill, it doesn't really matter. On to our over. Our over trigger is Greatest Star Ertines, because Herminia's a human, you can really pick any of the overs you want. Grade 0 boost, 50 shield, 5k power, over trigger, move over trigger, take over trigger, move that card, draw a card, choose one of these, plus 1 mana for the turn. And if your villager activate its additional effect, which is during this fight, you get during your turn, all your rear guards get plus 10. Okay. In any other Lyrica deck, that has been check game. Drive checked it, it's game in almost every other Lyrical deck. L Steel is not necessarily Kari, you're just waiting for them to kill you at that point. Felty Rosa, yeah, again, waiting for them to kill you at that point. Like, it's just all around waiting for you to kill them at that point, over trigger. And it's fun to pull off in Herminia just because more power to the powerful gimmick. Though, honestly, this deck doesn't need it because it hits numbers without it, and it also gets drives on rear. So so the chance of you seeing this more is increased, but at the same time, I've somehow seen it less now that I have cards that give me drives. How does that make sense? I have more drives, but I see it less. And I'm just talking about, see it less in drive checks or damage checks in general. I mean, I just don't see it at all. It stays in deck somehow. Fuck me, I guess. One of Esteranza, really pick any over you want, but like I said, I just picked the human one because Herminia is human. Then we have our normal triggers. 3 copies of Transparent Snowy Knight Beretoi, grade 0 boost, 5k shield, 4k base. Draw during his guard circle. If your opponent's vanguards are grade 3 or greater, gets plus 5k shield. Cool, so 10k guard. I mean, the draw's helpful because it does help you get some hand in the early game, because I think that's my one issue with Herminia is this deck doesn't necessarily, it will run into a problem in the early game if your opponent snipes your rear guards, so being able to quickly refill your hand is really nice, not to mention the fact that it can come in handy at any point in the game and still gets a good shield value for being a draw trigger and is one of your best discard followers because of draw trigger, so around good card, 3 of. Then we have our 4 fronts in Snow Skip Parvy. This is the definition of you have 4 drive checks. Sorry, not 4. You have 3 drive checks, possibly 4, and one of them is going to be swung with the rear guard first, and you might just see 2 fronts, like I did one game, and basically my entire rear guard became unstoppable. So yeah, that's why you run fronts. So Snowkip Parvy is our grade 0 boost, 15k shield, 4k power, continues guard circle. If your opponent's vanguard to grade 3 gets plus 5k shield. Cool, so a 20k shield that can defend us, and not to mention just the extra plus 10 to front row is a nice plus. Adding a little bit more to that offense with their already powerful stuff. And when you're restanding your rear guards, if you drove check a front before you swing with your vanguard, you're getting more pluses, I tell you. So 4 of Parvy, it is probably one of my favorite triggers in terms of art because she's just so cute. I like her ears. I love snow and this little cute whip thing. So 4 of Parvy, it's just a fun trigger. Then we have our 4 copies of Precious Tune Edwige. The reason this is here is for the following reason. I have 2 of the other effect triggers. Why not run the 3rd one? I count the effect triggers that aren't the heals of the same variety, so if I run one of them, I'll think about it, but if I run 2 of them, I have to run all 3 of them. I don't count the heal triggers towards that because the heal triggers feel completely different. But anyways, grade 0 boost, 15k shield, 5k power, 4k power, continues guard circle, critical trigger, auto rear. At the end of the battle that it boosted, it gets plus 2k. Someone gets plus 2k if you send, so I can't read. So all around, pretty decent. I mean, it's not needed in this deck because, you want a Soul Blast. You don't want to constantly have Soul cards. But this does actually come in useful. Because 1, we have a guaranteed Soul Blaster, and 2, there are cards in this deck that Soul Blast and would actually benefit from having Soul to Soul Blast. So Edwige, even if she is slightly more of a detriment if you don't get that card that Soul Blast, she is a plus if you get the right cards. So 4 of Edwige, because why the fuck not? Also just crits, because, again, restanders, crits, why not? And then we have our 4 regular heal in Sigh of Relief Fabulia. Yeah, I don't know why, I just feel like this heal fits the deck a lot. Also, I just like her cute little deers. They're so cute. I wish this was one of the ride lines. I mean, outside of this really big serpent tail, which I think is completely unnecessary, I think she's cute, and I think she should have been a grade 1 or like a ride line card. So yeah, 4 of normal heals. We all know why I don't like the effect heals. I'm not explaining it again, but more or less the definition is they are way too risky for me. So yeah, 4 of normal. Our first grade 1 is Quiet Ambush Mewsta. Grade 1 boost 5k shield, AK base, powerful auto rear. When this unit boosts a grade 3 or greater Vanguard Herminia's card name, if your soul has 0 cards, all your farmer units get plus 2k for the turn. Then at the end of the battle, put this unit to bottom and countercharge 1. All around, it's a really good ability for powerful. It basically allows for your front row to get plus 2, so kind of like a fifth of a Persona ride, if you will, and then it's a free countercharge for Herminia, which becomes a very important fact later with a certain combo we will go over when we get there. So, yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our next card. She's really good, but she's not amazing on her own, however, she will make another card better. So on to our next grade 1. Then 4 copies of Soapy Splash Riviena, one of the only PGs at this point I think I just run in Lyrical. Long story short, because a lot of the fucking ride lines either happen to be humans, beasts, or don't have their own like archetypal PG. The PGs I use the most in Lyrical are this one and the elf one, Nicoline, because like I said, Nicoline goes to all the ones that are either human or don't have a archetypal PG, and Riviena is the one for the war beast. So, yep. Anyways, Riviena continues Sentinel Force. You may only have 4 summons in the deck, and auto is put on guard circle. Choose one of these because it cannot be attended to battle. And if your hand has 2 or more cards, you choose a card from hand and discard it. Standard PG, no special. Basically, what that means is when this is placed on guard circle, if this is only one of the cards in your hand when you place that, you now have to discard. And that's pretty nice because that means you can basically be as aggressive as you want with this deck. And when the end game comes towards you, because maybe you were too ambitious and maybe you called all your triggers in the early game because of stupid reasons, and your opponent is currently abusing you because of that, the PG will come and save you. Yeah, that sounded very specific. Definitely never happened to me once. Nah, that never happened. I never called triggers and then had to be saved by a PG skill. What are you talking about? Shut the fuck up. That story never happened. Anyways, Riviena all around is a nice PG. Every time I look at her, I see something new. For example, now I just noticed that if you kind of look at her rainbow arc, it looks like no, it would be a crescent moon, right? Yeah, because crescent moon's the one on the left. So yeah, it kind of looks like a crescent moon if you look at it right. So all around, nice PG. I like her. She also has the cute bunny ears, so 4 of. That means nothing. I just like the bunny ear. Anyways, now we move on to our actual grade 1s that have skills that aren't restricted to guard circle. No offense, Riviena. 4 copies of Attractive Qualities Vally. Valley Girl Donkey. Here, fuck. I really want to do a Valley Girl accent for that, but I cannot do that. Grade 1 boost 5k shield, AK base, powerful, auto rear. When they attack this unit boosted hits, if your soul has no card, choose one of your units, it gets plus 5 for the turn. Okay, for those of you who don't know, that is what powerful does. It basically involves you having no soul, so pretty good on the attack and boosted hits, you get plus 5. So, kind of benefits, but at the same time, it's... in the end game situation, you just call 2 of these to back row, force out one of the columns to be a non-hit, like force out, because most likely you put up behind the Vanguard. So the Vanguard's automatically a PG. The other rear guard you put this behind is probably a most likely big guard, and then the rear guard, the other one is probably the restander. So all around, Vally's helpful. I like her. She has somehow been the most pressureful grade 1 I've ever seen, simply because the 5k actually makes that much of a difference. So for a Vally, you may think she's not dangerous. And if you think she's not dangerous, you are a fucking idiot, because she will kill you. I'm not even joking with you. There have been games where I did the math when Vally was on the board. If I took the attack that Vally was boosting, would have been game. And I still lost the following turn, all because of Vally. I'm telling you, if you underestimate her, you are asking for it. For Vally. Then we have 4 copies of Burgeoning Toned Signe, or Singe. I recently looked up how to spell the word singe because I was curious, because I needed it for something else, and I swear that's its spelling, but cool, we're just calling it singe. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, AK base, powerful, auto rear. When this unit boosts, if you have no soul cards, counter boss 1, choose one of your other, plus 5 for the turn. Okay, that's just perfect for your restanding unit, and if that's someone with the drive check, that's even better. And then auto rear, at the end of battle that it boosted, the ability I always forget about, if you have a Vanguard powerful, stand it, choose a card from your soul, and drop it. And the effect is mandatory. Okay. So for those of you that don't understand how this is supposed to work, it goes like this. even if you have no soul, because of how it's worded and what order things happen in, it's an automatic stand, and then you soul blast. Even if you have no soul, you still stand her. And this is why Signe is the playmaker of this deck that there's going to be run out of 4 of, because when Herminia stands the rear guard in front of her, this is standing with it, and it's going to be an infinite attacker. And if we manage to find ways to loop stuff over them, she becomes even more deadly. Signe is very few cards away from being able to be broken. If for some reason they gave Lyrical the ability to get, like, they gave him a rear guard that was like, when it stands, bounce something to hand and then call something over it, Signe would be broken. Signe would honestly hit a Bandless at that point. Or, like, Lyrical is 3 cards away from Signe hitting a Bandless. That's my opinion on it. All around, really good though. Gets counterblast for Herminia skill, which requires you to counterblast a lot. Gets 5k for the restander, possibly. And not to mention just an infinite restander. There's no reason not to run this out of 4 of in the deck outside of you can't afford it, but 4 of. Then we have 1 copy in the ride deck, none in the main deck of Sniping, Eyeful, Leranje. So my thing with her is I used to run her in my main deck, but for the soul purposes, obviously, for powerful, but then slowly over time, I was like, yeah, not really needed. So yeah, but anyways, 1 of in the ride deck, none in the main deck. Active Vanna, rear once per turn, soul blast 1, drop a card, draw a card. Okay. It's not the best skill. It really isn't. It's just drop, draw. And I hate that skill. I hate skills that are like that. I hate skills that are just drop 1, draw 1. I don't know why. Seeing those skills infuriate the fuck out of me. But the reason it's here, well, outside of being the ride line card, is it at least instigates powerful for grade 1 turn because you're soul blasting. I just remembered, this deck's worst nightmare is Amon in Premium. Never played this deck in Premium, people. Amon will definitely fuck you over in every way, shape, and form. You are not out soul blasting what Amon can do to you. So yeah, Leranje is kind of good in that regard, and then powerful continues Vanguard. If your soul has no cards, when you ride an attract Peach Ertines from your ride deck, you can ride without discarding a card from your hand. Okay, here's my thing. I had a lot of respect for this grade 1 going into it. It has the bat wings, which I like. I'm not really a fan of everything else on it, but I like that it had an active Vanguard and rear guard ability when it first came out, which is something I constantly complained about with Lyrical. So I really like that it could work on Vanna rear, and it even had another Vanguard restrictive ability for the ride deck. And then the grade 2 ruined it by taking the exact same skill, and then had a very shitty grade 2 skill. Leranje was the grade 1 I was excited about, so I give it a 1 of in the ride deck. Hell, I'd even be tempted to put a 1 of in the main deck, just because, fuck it, it's the one of the very few Lyrical ride lines I can actually use a fucking grade 1 from the ride deck for. So, 1 of in the ride deck, people. It's good. Sets up powerful, gets you a free ride for next turn. Then move on to our grade 2s. 4 copies of Mya Mya Ensemble Nara, or Nyla. So I thought her skill was different when I first got her. So grade 2 5k shield, 10k base, auto when she's placed on rear during your main phase. Yes, main phase, for all of you people trying to spam this with Kari. Counterblast 1, choose a card from your soul, call to an open rear, and then choose a card from your hand. For each card in your soul, discard it. When I first used this, I thought it said from hand. So basically, I would call a card from hand and drop 2 on one occasion. Yeah. Nara kind of makes that better because now I'm not losing things, and she essentially gets me a free this thing. So, all around, pretty nice. She's probably your best early game grade 2. And then not to mention that powerful auto rear when this unit attack is a grade 3 greater Vanguard. If your soul has no cards, he gets +5. She gets +5. So 15k swing all around. And it's for the turn, by the way, and it's not once per turn, which means if you restand with Herminia, she's swinging for 20 plus this thing, so that's 28 during her battle, and then counterblast plus another 5, so 33. All around, Nara's a pretty good grade 2. I like her. Get your rear guard in the early game, whatever grade you're at and whatever grade your opponent's at. Not to mention gets power. Just does a good board setup. Why not run her at 4? Her cats also look fucking realistic as all hell. Like, this is why I like some of the Lyrical cards, because a lot of them look realistic. Like, the cats, the tail, the hair, everything looks about... I mean, well, the hair and the ears and the cats look realistic. Everything else kind of looks fake, but whatever. Point is, I like Nara. She's a good card 4 of. Then we have 4 copies of our new Herminia broken card, Immense Aptitude... It's Leraye. I will never be able to say these names. Grade 2 5k shield, 10k base. Act rear once per turn. Soul boss 1. Choose one of your vanguards and gets +5 for the turn. Okay. I really wish she was like this unit and the vanguard gets +5, because then there'd be a benefit to this. But because the vanguard already is a counter boss 1 get +5. But cool, I guess if you need extra soul burnout, this is where Lyra comes in. And then powerful auto rear when this unit attacks a vanguard. If your soul has no cards, counter boss 2 and this unit gets +10 for the turn. Cool. Cool. So she's a 20k swing. And then if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Herminia in its card name, she performs drive checks. So she has single drive. Now here's something I wish they did with this. I wish they gave her a base of twin drive. I'm not saying they should change the skill. I'm saying that they should have gave her a base of twin drive. Here's why. I know what chaos I'm instigating by saying this. Because even though it has no Vanguard abilities, there will be those people that run this in the Leraye deck over every other grade 2 simply because it has twin drive. Tell me right now I am wrong. In the decks that the grade 2 does absolutely nothing, for example this one, you would run this in the Leraye deck just because it had twin drive. Tell me I'm fucking wrong right now. I'll wait. Especially in this deck too, because you want to know why? Nara could call right out. I'll wait. Wait to prove me wrong. Go ahead. My point's proven. I really wish this had a base of twin drive because that would make this like a little bit more unique. Gave us a way, like gave us reasons to change out the Leraye deck. Because we all know I'm an advocate for that. But like, whatever. Point is, I like that she can get drive checks. I like that she's at least a +10 regardless if you're on Herminia or not. Why not run her out of 4? And she says grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Herminia, meaning she works in premium, and assuming we get a grade 4, she'll work with the grade 4. Assuming we get a grade 4 though. Either way, she's a good grade 2. I like her. Why not 4 of it? And then one copy of our last grade 2 in the Leraye deck, Attract Peach Ertines. Grade 2 has a 5k shield, 10k base, continuous van and rear. During the battle she attacks. She gets +2, and this is why I hate the grade 2. Because the other skill is just powerful, continuous Vanguard. If your soul has no cards, when you would ride Coming Beauty Herminia from your Leraye deck, you may ride her without discarding a card. So, literally the exact same skills as the grade 1, but for the grade 3. And the on attack +2 that has never come in useful. Not all of them can be winners. Not all of them can be winners. No reason to run this in the main deck. If you really wanted to play some Attract Peach or Tennis beat down, then God help you. God have mercy on your soul, because you're doing something wrong. There's something wrong in your head if you think Attract Peach Eterna's beat down is going to be an applicable strategy. One of this in the Leraye deck, none in the main deck, and if you really wanted to call it out to the board, use it with fucking Nala. Then we have our last unit card in the deck, not our last card though. 3 copies in the main deck, 1 copy in the Leraye deck of Coming Beauty Herminia. Grade 3, turn persona, 13k base, active and counterblast 1. This unit gets +5 for the turn. Not at once per turn, meaning if you want to counterblast 5 just to give her +25 for some bizarre reason, you can. If you're wondering what that bizarre reason would be, despite the fact you are insane and that you should be spending your counterblast on getting a fucking extra drive because that's the inherently smarter decision, it is because powerful auto van at the end of the battle she attacked. If the total number of cards in your soul and face-up and damage zone are 0, meaning you have no soul cards or face-up damage, discard a card from your hand, choose one of your rear guards with powerful, and stand it, and reduce the next time you counterblast by 1. Okay, for the record, I'm going to go back on something I just said. I know I said or counterblast. There's going to be that person that comments on this video that says, it's not or, it's and. You are right, but we all know I fucking meant and, so both have to be empty in terms of soul and counterblast. So just for those smart-ass people, there you go. Now we can move on to the effect. Anyways, being able to stand a rear guard with powerful, AK literally every fucking normal unit in this deck that isn't the PG, is pretty good. Because that means you're getting an extra attack for only a discard with your drive check, and the next time you counterblast, it's reduced by 1. Now, either that means Signe goes off for free, she goes off for a counterblast of 1. And if you play your cards right... Anyways, the combo with Herminia, so the little backstory on what just happened. I have to edit this extremely well because I fucked up and I didn't realize I forgot to put a card in this deck profile. So one of the... You'll see when it is, because I'm pretty sure grammatically it wouldn't make sense for where I put it. But, yeah, I fixed part of the deck profile, so now I have to remember where I'm talking from. But anyways, the combo that I was referring to was you counterblast a bunch during your main phase. You use a total of 3 of them, most likely, or like you save a total of 2. You don't have to pay 3, but you have to save 2 counterblasts for whatever means. And then you go to your battle phase, you swing with Leraye, counterblast 2, and you have to use this unit right here. So you know you can countercharge, and this is for reasons. So you use Lyra to get your double counterblast. Actually, wait, you don't use the grade 1 yet. You use Lyra to get your double counterblast. +10. Cool. Get your drive checks, doesn't matter what they are. Swing with Herminia, use Herminia's skill, after boosted by this thing, by the way. Use Herminia's skill, restand the girl, use the grade 1, send it to bottom, countercharge 1, and boom. Now for your final counterblast, because this is now counterblast 1 thanks to Herminia, you can swing with her, she's a 20k with another drive. All around, this deck is very powerful, pun intended, with the combos you can do with it, getting 4 fucking drives for no apparent reason. Downside is all your counter blasts go down to drain, but it's so worth it because you're hitting numbers. Herminia's just good for that reason alone, so 3 of in the main deck, 1 of in the right deck. Then we have our order, which is Sweet X Sweet. This is here in the case where I'm playing a nuke deck, and I actually need rear guards. So grade 2 normal order, play it by counter blasting. We'll look at top 5, choose 1 unique card from bundle, call it a rear guard, shuffle the deck. This card has yet to disappoint me. It literally just gets me a rear guard. And considering Nala doesn't have to be placed from hand, that just means I play her from this thing skill and I use her skill to get another rear guard. Boom, that's 2 counterblasts already used up. So I'm 1 step closer to, actually I'm 2 steps closer to being able to use Herminia. And I have another rear guard from Nala. Never doubt the power of Sweet X Sweet. This thing is powerful as all hell. Not meant to be a pun, that's just how it sounded. It's a good order, 4 of. And that's it for the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. All around, I have no idea how the fuck I'm going to edit this because I made a very massive fuck up in terms of timing and me forgetting that 1 card was supposed to be in the deck. So yeah, now I have to go edit speed that and figure out what the fuck I'm doing. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed. The deck, as you can see, again, I'm going to make this pun for the 3rd time and that's it. It is powerful. I'm not going to say it's more powerful than Fortia. Fortia is better. Like, if you're wondering why I'm not running Melty, you don't. I hate people, well, I hate running archetypal cards in the deck that has a different archetype. Melty, because it has friends, automatically makes her Fortia card in my mind. Great God, and I hate the fact that people say Melty is required to make the deck good. It is not. Melty does absolutely nothing for the deck. She just happens to have a skill that is generic as fuck. You don't need Melty for this deck to be good. It's super strong without it. Fuck, Fortia doesn't even need Melty. I know this. I played the deck without Melty. All around, the deck is fun. A lot of power that you can get out of it. Good amount of drive checks. You know, just don't underestimate it and you'll be fine. If you underestimate it, you're a fucking idiot. So, I'm ending here. Hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, follow Twitch, and I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to stand up your vanguards.